It's another episode of IoT Tuesday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is you find yourself on any part of the continent. I am yours truly, Samla, trying to bring into you another episode of the IoT show. In today's episode, we're going to be picking up from where we left off last episode on IoT Central Part 2. We're going to be looking at the rest of the course. And then once we're done, we'll move on to something interesting. When we come back, I'll be giving you the full details of what we are about to do. They can stay. Awesome. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you're joining us, this is IoT Tuesday, your only IoT show that demystifies, breaks, encourages, entertains, and helps you, to pick up on the IoT on the Microsoft Azure stack. Well, in today's episode, we're picking up from part two of IoT Central, which we started last week. We looked at the learning path for IoT Central, and we're going to continue from where we left off. But as usual, before we get into it, a couple of things I just want to get out of the way before we get started. First of all, I want to say apologies for starting almost 20 minutes late. There was a last minute family emergency that came up that I had to handle. So sorry about that. Again, in today's session, I'll try to keep it, simple and succinct, so that we don't have to, spend too much time. Before we get into it, as usual, I always like to talk about stuff that's happening in the eco space. So let's just get right into it. Then we can kickstart what we are going to do. So, yep. The first of it is so the Accra Power Platform User Group is going to have its monthly virtual meetup this Saturday. Yes, so we're going to be talking about uh, new features and new improvements and stuff on the Power Platform. So cuts across from Power BI, Power Apps, Automate, Power Virtual Agent. We're going to be talking about. It's actually 10 a.m. We try to keep it to 1 hour to give time to go do other stuff. So make a date with us. Mark it in your calendars this coming Saturday for the Accra Power Platform the group. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the Powerful Devs Conf coming up on July 15th. That's next week. I Yours truly, I will be presenting. I'll be talking about IoT and the Power Platform. It's a convergence, of all the cool stuff you want to see on the Power Platform connected to other services on the Microsoft ecosystem. So make a date with us. Make sure you join. If you want to register, let's bring this up here so you can see this. Then zooming a bit. If you go to in the browser, if you go to aka.ms slash powerful devs conf, yep, everything is there. You can go register. You can go see the keynote speakers. Maria Nagaga is there. Scott Guthrie is there. Um, yeah, Dona Sakai is there. Guys, give me a sec. I back with. yes, we are right back. Sorry about that. I had to take care of my little girl. I think she just woke up and the mom went downstairs, so I had to take care of that. So, like I was saying, this is the powerful devs that they seem to look out for next week on the 15th of July. Mark your calendars. If you go to aka.ms/ powerful devs conf, actually, let me just put this in here. Let me put this in the chat so that you guys can check that out. All right, so that is the next thing that we have now. Now, this is one of the things that I am very, very passionate about. It is the Microsoft 365 charity quiz. Now, it's a virtual event that we're doing to support a global movement. Uh, on the 30th of July, 6 regions, one day. We're doing the M365 charity quiz to support the Black the Black Minds Matter in UK. We're trying to raise funds to support charities that help with the Black movement, and you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. Keep watching my space. I'm going to be sharing information on the various registration portals for UK, for the America, and pretty soon coming for Africa. I'll be sharing the link. So simple. Just join. Uh, Look for the registration link, join, donate something small, take part in the quiz. All proceeds go to support the charity. We're doing this big time, so I would really encourage you to do this for us. Awesome. Thank you very much. And if I might say, that ends what we have for today. So we can go back to our main view. Awesome. So what do we have? As I mentioned, yeah, welcome to all of you joining from different places. So I got a new ISP. And you know what? I think I'm going to do this online for us to see. So fast.com. Hopefully that doesn't affect the stream quality, but I don't know. Hopefully it's going to be fast as it's supposed to. Let's see what's happening. I think because I am streaming at a very, very high resolution, it's actually, I think, affecting the the speed test. Because I did a speed test earlier, it was like 400 and something Mbps, and yeah, I can see that's affecting my stream quality right now. Yeah, it's hitting it. I mean, it's not a good idea to do the speed test when I'm using all my bandwidth to do stuff. So there's more than that. So that's what I did. I got a new ISP, so hopefully this works out for us. All right. Now let's get back into what we were working on. So if we remember correctly, let's go here. Let's go here. So it was let's go to Microsoft Learning. All right. Yep, Microsoft Learning. Let's go to documentations. Let me make this a bit bigger so you can see. And welcome to all of you joining. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try as much as possible to answer them. Okay, let's see if this has actually picked. Yes, Outlook, my correct profile. So let's look for our history. So let's see what were we doing the last time. So I can actually go ahead and search, but I want, let's look for the product on Azure. Let's look for the certification path. Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and yeah, we did a couple of things. So yeah, let's browse everything. So we continue from there. So it was IoT Central. And where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Develop your solution IoT Central. Yes. Yes, you might see that it's marked as completed because I went ahead, to go through and do the other stuff. So I'm going to just walk you through it today. Um, so what we did was to create the first IoT app. We've done this. Um, just so you know we get we created this already. So let me open the IoT Central here. Let's go back. We created this. We set up the rules. Um, so the only thing we had not done was, I think we finished. We set up the rules and then we took the actions. Yeah. So we were going to create a device app project, create rules. Let's see. Device programmatically exported. Yeah. So we're in the second module. Yes, I think so. We're on the second module. Let's look at that. Yes, had done this. We created a custom app, and then uh, let's go ahead. I'm trying to look for, yep, the second part. Yep, we had a connection string. I think I show the connection. Yes, so this is it. I think this is where we got to the last time. If we go back to our, let's try to log into our IoT Central. Yeah. So far I'm dropping about 10%. Yeah, Outlook. Let me know if the stream quality it's not that good. But one thing, good thing is that I'm also recording, so there's always going to be a high definition one available if the stream is not comporting itself. So let's log in. And now, so I have gone ahead to create this app. Now, if you have been following me when I worked on the Raspberry Pi and I shared how the Raspberry Pi connects to the Azure IoT Hub Digital Twin and T commands, it is the same process. If you look closely, you're installing here. Um, Let me actually just. So if you look closely at this point, you're installing the SDKs, the Azure IoT SDK, the IoT device MQTT, and then also the Azure Maps. So the only new thing here is the Azure Maps REST, how do you call it, SDK or package. This allows us to interact with the Azure Maps service. So that's just about the only new thing here. So I went ahead, all right, to provision or to actually create the application. So this is simply simulating the application. So ideally when you're building an IoT application, all right, once you provided the IoT Central app with a template and all that, you want to test, all right. So you can actually you can build a solution to test it out. And that is what this application is. And again, sorry, but I would have to write back. Let me check. I think there's something wrong with my connectivity. Let me share this. Check. I will be right Yep. So we're back. Thank you for patience. So I mentioned that this is just the code to help you uh, simulate having the track and the cooling and all that. So I went ahead to create this, and let me just go ahead and open the application so that we test it out. Uh, this is refrigerator track service. Yep, I think it's a refrigerator track. Yep. Yep. We're 10%. Well, so we're losing 10% of stream. Hopefully, um, it's not that terrible. It and trust me, the script was a very long script, very long one. Yeah. Was a very long script. I was like, oh my God, that was a very long one. I mean, if you look at the code base for it, huge. So all it's doing is simulating. For the sakes of time, I would not. I'll just share. I'm going to put it in the GitHub repo so that you can pick it up from there. So let's just go next whilst we wait for that. So if we go to my apps, you should see that our app should be okay because we used what we did was because we used a 7-day trial. After the trial, it kind of like cleared everything out, but no problem. I mean, it's still um usable. So yeah. So here some rules we created some rules, all right, and the rules and the alerts and all that allows us to take action. Now we could create multiple rules to do that. And per the test that I did, I created different rules that were triggered when the temperature was high. First of all, I want to uh, try to open the app. Let's don't save. No, thing look like this one. Let this up. Check the eye out. Yep, this is the code. So this is the code. As you can see, it is a lot. Trust me, the code was so much, but I'll try to walk you through the various parts of the code today, and hopefully, we should be able to make meaning of this. Now, like I mentioned, if you followed me from my um, earlier series, it's a similar code that I used to send data from the Raspberry Pi. Now, the only difference is that this time around the node application was running on the Raspberry Pi, and the Raspberry Pi was sending the data to IoT Hub. Now, the same thing is happening in the case of IoT Central, but just that instead of the actual vehicle, the refrigerator vehicle sending telemetry, we're simulating that with an application. Okay, that's the only difference in here. So let's look at this. As you can see, again, we're using this because I decided to hide all the configuration in an environmental like in a .m file, and this helps me to do it. We have chalk just for beautification of the messages. So there you go. We have the Azure IoT device MQTT that allows to communicate the Azure IoT device SDK or module, and then the rest for the maps. Now it's quite simple. Um, but I must confess that there are some, calculations in there that really blew my mind because I was like, whoa, that's like over the head. Basically, these are calculations that are allowing us to, be able to do 10 by 10 route of the vehicle on the Azure maps. So I'm sure that, there's a reference documentation for that, so you can see that. So a bunch of enumerators, um, the state, the state of the truck can be ready and route to delivering. We have enumerations for the let's say content, whether it is full, melting, empty. We have the fan state, whether its fan is on or off. And then we have a bunch of variables that are allowing us to be able to correctly determine the state of the track and where they are. And then we have some dummy customer data. All right. So what's happening is that I've just gone ahead to create all this code. So you should be able to run this code. And what you need to do is that you have to go into once I publish the code, you have to create a .m file and then make sure you have your Azure Maps key and then your connection string from the IoT Central and then put them in there and then run the application. The application will be able to communicate with it. Now, unfortunately, because we have deleted the IoT Central application, we'll have to recreate like a new one to be able to pass that. But that's not a huge thing. If you follow the learning part, that should sorted out. And so if you remember what I mentioned about device twins allow you to have a digital representation of the devices you have. Now, what's happening is that the command we saw in the last episode, right? The commands that we want to send to these devices, it is sent to their digital twin, all right, as a the cloud to device, messaging commands, and then a response. So it's the same thing. Just that if you look into this code base, there's a lot of code going on, but if you take time to look at the comments in there, as you can see, so handle settings changes that come from Azure IoT Central via device twin. So here, so if the properties of a desired state changes, I talked about this in my previous episode. So if you don't know what the desired state is and the reported state is, go check those videos out. So here, and then also we have so here's checking for the connection. Now, do you see this? So these are the device methods. We talked about this. So anytime there's a device method for go to customer, I realize that we set this up, then it's going to call the go to customer to handle it. Now, um, if you look for the go to customer, there you go. That's the request that handles it. It checks it and then performs this action. So it's quite similar to what I did in the Raspberry Pi situation. All right. Now the next thing is creating the rules. So if you look here, the rules were created for content, the content temperature, uh, the telemetry, and then the location and the range of action. Now, what we could have done was that based on the responses coming from the software, like for instance here, there is a rule that says that if the content temperature hits a maximum of, let's say, 0, it's greater than or equal to 0 because the temperature has to be in the negative for an ideal state. If it goes greater than that, it means we're getting to the melting state. It should send an alert, all right? And most of this alert is in the email. It's in the email. So what I'm going to do is let's let me see if I can show you some of the emails that came. Or better still, I can just go ahead and, at least we've seen how to create the app. We've seen how to create the interfaces for the various data we want to collect, metadata we want to collect, and then now the next thing is just to create the alert. So I was hoping to, yeah. So this for the location. So here create a rule to fire when the track leaves the base. So what's happening is that they have the coordinates for the base for the factory or the base of the vehicle. So which means that when the truck is leaving, let's say the office or leaving the carport, right? They know that the car has left based on this coordinates for the location of the vehicle. So most of the rules I created were rules that allowed me to send emails when setting rules or actions here were met. So I got bombarded with a lot of emails. I think I deleted a lot of them, but I got bombarded with a lot of emails. Um, so let's see. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead. I'm going to add the code base right now. Right. I'm going to add it my GitHub repository so that you guys can go check it out. All right. And I'll try to create the README. Like I mentioned, you need to make sure you have created on M file with this, right? Or what I can do, because this is already gone, I can just, yeah, just get rid of it. And because I'm not going to do any git ignore on this one. So just create it and put it there. So put this your IoT central connection. Right, and if you don't know how to create a connection string, I'll show you. Right, it's simple. There's actually a utility that you can download that allows you to create this. Then here will be your Azure Maps. Okay. All right. So let's do this. At least if we are not able to achieve anything, let this be the only thing we. At least let's achieve something. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put I'm going to put the code in my IoT show. I'm going to put it. Should I just create IoT Tuesday repository and then just keep you know maybe creating different branches or just create a repository? Yeah, I think I should just create um a repository and just kind of like a mono repo, and then I can put all the code base related to it. I think let's do it that way. Okay, let's create a new repo, and this is a public repo, and I'll call this IoT. Okay, right? So this will be the IoT Tuesday public repo where anything pertaining to the IoT show, I'm going to be dumping them here. Let's say IoT. Okay. Uh oh, code base. All right, so private. Nah, I will not initiate any read because if I initiate a readme, that's just gonna, I'll have to clone it and merge it. That's so. Let's just go ahead and this. Um, this. Then go. So if you've not done this before, there's an opportunity for you to do this. Let's go here. So if if you have an existing kind of like repository from it, we can push it, or if we can decide to create a new one, right? So to do the get init, right? And then push it to this one. So that's why we don't have any repository yet. Like we don't have any local repository to push. So we're going to initialize it, right? So let's go ahead and then in our code base, let's do this right now. So I'm going to open, let's go ahead and get it, right? And then what's going to happen is that it's going to initialize the get repo here, right, for us. And what I'm going to do now is to connect it to it. Okay. So let's go ahead. There are a lot of things that we need to add. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get add asterisk. Yeah, adding everything. So now here it's complaining because my line endings is more like a Windows line ending, and maybe it's looking for like a Linux line ending. So yeah, uh, just wait for it. Oh, so we are having this issue because that's bad. That's bad. Let me terminate it. Let me terminate it, and I would explain why. So I needed to create a get ignore, right? Because I don't want it to include the node modules. That's like an overkill. All right, but I didn't do that, and I just went ahead to finish it. That's why we're having the problem. So um first of all, let's do this. So if you have Visual Studio Code and you have the Git extension, I can do this. Git ignore. Let's see if I can get where is uh it's I should have that extension. Where is that? Where is that? Get. Advisor repository. This ignore. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and use. Let me check. Hold on. Let me check. I know I have the git. Oh, oh, something. Okay, there you go. No, I have something. Oh, attention. Okay, no problem. Let's do. Let me close code. That's it. Possible that it's just freaking out on me right now. Yeah, yeah. Get length, get it. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. I think I can also do mine, so I can share this with you. So if you go to, I think, gitignore.io, I'm not sure. I think it's gitignore.io. It has to be gitignore.io. Nope, it's not. not- Oh yeah. Uh, um, yeah. Gitignore. This is not the one that I know, but looks like let's just do gitignore. There's one particular one that not top. Or is it the top town one? I think it's a top town. I think it's yeah, top town one. So if you go to gitignore.io, see this, right? So it asks you, you have to put in things like I'm developing on a Windows, it's a Node application, I'm using Visual Studio Code, um, let's say, uh, um, yeah, I'm using .m, all right, and then I click on create. Now, what happens is that this is going to generate a git ignore file for me, all right? Then I can copy the whole of this, come into my Visual Studio Code, and then in here, add a new file and call it .git ignore, right? And in here, paste all that. So what I have just done is I'm telling it that, look here, I want you to ignore all these things when I am pushing, right, to my GitHub, right? So save this and let's go back here and let's try this again. So ELS, so I can just say get those. So you see, so there are things that I need to add. So if you look closely, it ignored the Git, the node modules. All right, it ignored it because we don't it realized that no, I'm not supposed to add that in. And then the .env as well, it ignored it. So you'd have to add a .m file and then make sure you have these two in there. Okay. Now go ahead with this. Yeah, now that I don't need this away. Okay, so now let's try this again. Let's do git add everything. Yep, I can git add. So this is just the line ending. So now if I do git status, now I can't even type. Right? So it tells me these are the files that I have added. Right? So now I need to go ahead and then add my commit. So I can say git commit, and here message is I'll say initial it. All right. So that is created. Now, before we add it, okay, because it's a new repo, we need to ensure we are telling it where the remote is. Okay. So just need we need a URL to that, which we can get from the repository. So all we need to do now do git remote add origin. So this is the origin of where the stuff is going, right? I've done that. And then now finally I can say git, let's push this. Then the origin is master. This done. This is going to push everything we've done so far into, yep. And as you can see, with the command line changes that I have, anytime you see green, it tells me that I'm up to date. So now if I do git status, yep, my branch is up to date with the original. So we're good. So now what's going to happen is that let's bring our, so here, this is the repo we created. So now as you can see, the files are here. So now feel free, it's open. Feel free, go check it out. Clone it, uh, try it out. Let's can build on it, add changes and all that. But don't forget that you need to add a .m file to it, and always run, I'll update I'm going to add a README and then I'll add those stuff to it. Okay, so sorry for the disruptions today. I was actually using today's session to also test my new ISP. It seems good, but I think that I need to drop my resolution a bit so that I can get a consistent and not freaking out um, freaking out stream. By the way, I think that is all time is going to permit us to do. So go download the code base and let's continue from the next episode. Until then, stay safe. COVID is real. And to all those that have lost loved ones through COVID or other forms of issues, we're here to support you. Let's stay safe. Let's maintain the protocols. COVID is real. Let's use opportunity to learn new stuff and help people. Until then, yours truly, Samuel Lajrani. I am out.